don't know if you've ever experienced this, but being in your car as a young adult with your child in the back seat and just not knowing how you're going to make ends meet, how you're going to pay the next bill. And honestly, there was a season in my life where I was like, okay, I have $20 till the end of the week. We're going to spend this much on food. We're going to share a meal so that we can make it through.
Guys, welcome back to Mindset and Wealth. Today, we have a special edition because we have a special guest. So we have my good friend Rosio, and I'll let her talk in a minute, but just to give you guys a little bit of background. I met Rosio several years ago, and immediately we became very good friends. And a few years ago, she came to me to share a big vision that she had, a desire in her heart to create a scholarship that would give back to the community. And that's where the Rising Rose Fund was born. And I'm so excited to have her here today on our podcast because I want her to share how it started, what it's doing, and how the community can get involved. So welcome to the podcast, Rosio.
Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. That was perfect. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to you and Jose for giving me the space to share about the Rising Rose Fund. And yeah, I'm glad that we get to connect and we get to have this moment and share about, how the community can participate, what the Rising Rose Fund is. And yeah, thank you for today.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, my good friend Rosio here, she's very shy sometimes when it comes to sharing her story. Mm-hmm. But I think that her story can impact, and a lot of you guys can relate with her story. So I'm going to put you on the spotlight today because I want you to share your story because it it makes the Rising Rose Fund that much more special because of the background of it, because of your story. So, friend, please share that with us.
Thank you. So I think that sometimes it can be challenging to really put your story out there because many people can relate to when you overcome your obstacles, the last thing you want to do is keep talking about it. And so for a long time, I kept running from my past, meaning the things that made me who I am. And what I'm referring to is I'm first generation Mexican American. So I was born in the United States, but my parents are from Mexico. And many of us, we are born into a household where our parents are just trying to survive. Yeah. And so for me, being the oldest, we were home alone at a very young age. And our parents worked a lot and taught us how to work. They taught us family values. But unfortunately, they just couldn't be there. And so I became a young mom at a really young age. I was 16 years old when I had my son. And I was in high school and, of course, had no resources. But my parents were super supportive in the sense that they said, you can live with us, but he's your responsibility. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to worry about utilities, but you have to figure out how you're going to provide for him. Diapers, that's your responsibility. Formula, you have to figure it out. Insurance, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like you have to go out there and figure it out. And I respected that because them saying you can still live here was such a lifeline, right? Because what would I have done?
I love this. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people can relate, Rosio. As first generation Mexican American, growing up wasn't very easy. And I love that you're getting so personal with your story because, again, so many people can relate to your story.
It was a challenging time, and I'm so grateful to my parents for what they provided me and what they taught me, and that was that I needed to go out there and really figure it out. And so I got through high school, and then I thought to myself, okay, I'm grateful that I got past that hurdle, but I knew I needed to do more because I kept thinking, how am I supposed to provide for myself and my son? And how am I supposed to be able to afford rent? I couldn't even think about a mortgage at that point. I was like, just how can I survive on my own? And that's when I knew that a college education is something that I needed to do. Yeah. And so I wasn't ready for a, big university. So I went to community college. I went to Phoenix College, and that became my lifeline. That is where I honestly can say I learned how to do critical thinking, how to really take a problem and figure out there is not just A and B, but there is C and D. And so there's never just that one way. And so for me, that college education was so impactful. It's also where I met my husband, who's my husband now. We dated for many years, but he obviously, he believed in the education system too. But just going to Phoenix College for me was so impactful. It's also where I discovered my career. I went to Phoenix College and I wasn't sure what I was going to major in. I had a full-time job. I was going to night school. And my family was helping with caring for my son. So it was literally like a family affair. I would take my son to school. I would go to work. It was running around in circles. And I think that so many people can relate to that hustle of constantly going and moving on to the next thing. But what I truly believe in education. I think that it opens up so many doors. And for me, it showed me where I wanted to go in life, meaning it showed me my career, which is, into real estate. I took my real estate classes at Phoenix College, not because I knew that I wanted to go into real estate, but that's kind of where it started. While I was also working my full-time job in the corporate world.
A lot of times people say it takes a whole village to raise a child. And truthfully, in your case, I mean, let's be honest, Rosio, you were a child yourself and you could have done two things, kept going or say, hey, I'm a kid myself, but you kept going. And that, I admire that from you, that you got an education that a lot of women in your position don't have the opportunity to do.
2% of teen moms get a degree before the age of 30. 2%. And that is such a tragic number because moms are the heart of the family. They are the foundation. And I believe that the reason that number is so low is because moms put themselves last.
100%.
And now for me, I understood that if I wanted more, I had to do it. Yeah. My parents taught me that. They showed me that. I didn't know how that was going to happen, but I just knew I had to keep going. And the education was a part of that for me.
So tell me, then what is it that the Rising Rose Fund, what does it do?
So the Rising Rose Fund was born from that story, from that struggle. And I'll go back a step. I'll be very transparent with you. The Rising Rose Fund came to me about 3 years ago. I was literally at church 8 a.m. in the morning. And I walked into the church, got on my knees, started to pray. And God literally showed me this cause. And I immediately opened my eyes and I was like, oh my God. I just had this epiphany of what I needed to do. I walked out of the church and got into my car and I called the woman that I had just met 2 weeks ago. And I said, you're going to think that this is crazy. But God literally just gave me an idea and an assignment. and you came to mind. And he was like, she said, oh my gosh, Rosio, I know the exact person you need to talk to. And she put me in touch with the coordinator at Estrella Community College. And it immediately started to flow from there. Things just started to fall into place. And we created the Rising Rose Fund. The Rising Rose Fund supports those young women, those young mothers that are attending Estrella Community College and Phoenix College. It's a tuition scholarship. So it helps them with that financial support while they're attending college. If they're below the age of 21 and they're if they're a single mom, they are eligible for the scholarship. And so the biggest thing, it lets them know that they're not alone. That there is a community of people that they'll never meet supporting them and believing in them because they're already going through so much on their own. The financial burden is just a small piece. If you're a mom, and I think that sometimes even if you can just think about that moment when if you were ever in your car, I'm going to cry. If you were ever in your car.
I love that you're getting so vulnerable with it. This is beautiful, Rosio.
I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but being in your car as a young adult with your child in the back seat and just not knowing how you're going to make ends meet, how you're going to pay the next bill. And honestly, there was a season in my life where I was like, okay, I have $20 till the end of the week. We're going to spend this much on food. We're going to share a meal so that we can make it through. And I was big about never asking my family for any money. I never asked my mom and my dad to borrow any money because I was like, no, I'm going to figure this out. And so now being in a position all these years later that I'm so grateful that that I'm so far removed from that story, but I don't forget. And I think that that's so important is that people don't forget where you've been and that I didn't get here by myself. I got here because my family supported me. And then when I got into the real estate business, my community supported me by trusting me with their needs, with their housing needs. And because they trusted me, I've been able to, succeed in my career. And now that I am successful in my career, it's so important to me that I don't forget where I come from and my story, and that I find a way through the Rising Rose Fund to uplift other women that are in that same situation. And so the Rising Rose Fund is that. It's just giving those women hope and letting them know, keep going. We believe in you. We see you. We'll never meet you. We don't expect anything from you. But there's other people in the community that want to see you thrive. And just we're putting our dollars behind them and expecting nothing in return because, the younger version of me would have been so grateful. And although I didn't have that particular scholarship, I did have a community that they were doing their best in supporting me, and that was enough. And so if we can put our financial resources behind them, they're already dealing with so much. The scholarship is not going to fix everything. It's not. It's just, but it's going to, because there's so much more to it, right?
Oh,
it's
for sure.
The daycare, the just being able to pay for all the other expenses. I mean, an education is a luxury.
Yeah.
And that is why so many parents, so many young moms
mamas.
and dads, and
Yeah.
they bypass it because they have to go to work. And then after work, it's like, where is the child going to go so that they can have the luxury of an education? And so,
Thank you so much for sharing that. And this is the reason I wanted her to share this story with you guys, because when I hear it, I mean, I've heard the story many times, Rosio, and every time I get emotional too. I was not a single mama. I am a mom though. And just to hear you share that story, I mean, my gosh, we are very resilient. Women are very, very resilient. But at the same time, how meaningful would it be for that single mama to get that scholarship and say, hey, you are not alone, even though you can do it on your own, because you pretty much did it on your own with some community assistance, right? But you were very determined to do a lot of the things you did on your own. And to get somebody to give you this scholarship right now that you get to support these single mamas without expecting anything in return, not even recognition. Because you've been very, 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 what's the word? You're not doing it for the spotlight. Every time I'm like, hey, you should do this, and you should maybe talk to the moms and get testimonials. You're like, I'm not asking them to do absolutely nothing, because this is all about them, has nothing to do with me. And that's why I love and respect your cause.
I think it's so important that we do more of that as a community.
Agree.
That we show up for each other and love on one another, especially right now. I think that we live in a time where it's hard.
Agree.
I'll be honest, being Mexican American is challenging.
Yeah.
Right? It's like for everyone has their challenges and the things that they're going through. And so I choose to focus on the positive.
Yeah.
I choose to focus on where can I be of service, where my faith is super important to me. And I think for a long time, career was such a big factor because I needed that stability, that financial stability in order to feel safe. And for a long, long time, for 2 decades, that was my main focus. Make money, figure out and make money, but from a good place, right? Like make sure that you are always from a place of making sure that I'm servicing people, that they can trust me.
Yeah.
Because we work by referral, right?
100%.
Like you want people to trust you and be able to refer you, but the goal is always to be able to thrive.
Yeah.
And create that future so that my kids don't ever have to experience what I experienced. And so in the process of doing that as well, it's so important for me that I give back to the community. And that is what the Rising Rose Fund is. And I don't need the validation from anyone because I don't do it for that.
Yeah.
I do it because when I die, when we all die, I know who I'm going to have to answer to.
Yeah.
And I trust that I will have served
Yeah.
in the capacity the best I could, because when God gave me an assignment, I said, yes,
I accept.
and I will go with that and I will honor that. And that is not about me. That's about doing good. That's about giving back. That's about being of service. That's about helping your neighbor without expecting anything in return. And so, yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. And just thank you for the space and just for allowing me to be vulnerable and share my story that I know is not just my story, because you mentioned that you weren't a single mom, but you were a young mom.
I was a young mom.
And Jose was a young father.
Yeah.
And we don't come from money. Well, I speak for myself.
No. Well, you know my background. I didn't come from money either. And I think that's why causes like this are so dear to my heart, because when you come from nothing and you're giving a little something, a big something, whatever that looks like, you appreciate it so much because we're not used to getting things handed to us. And that in itself, it was a beautiful, beautiful journey to be able to learn how to, advocate for yourself and be able to do things on your own. But again, right now, in the present moment, where you can help a mom and give her a little something to further her education and let her know she's not alone, it's so meaningful.
And the scholarship isn't, the women are already doing the work.
Yeah.
The women are the ones that are showing up. The women are the ones that are dealing with the anxiety and the stress of being a young single mother. This is just us showing up for them and saying, we see you doing the work. You're doing all the heavy lifting. Let us be of service with this monetary gift.
Yes.
And so, but scholarships are not, it's not the whole solution.
I agree. I agree. So tell me something. How can the community assist? What can us as the community, because it's so powerful what a lot of us together can accomplish. So how does the community support this?
So the call of action for the community is in 3 different ways. They can become a monthly donor. That means that they have a monthly donation going to Estrella Community College on a recurring basis. And that is the best way to support, because then the school sees that money coming in from all these different people. And so they can count on that money. They know, okay, we are replenishing what we've used up. And so becoming a monthly donor, and there is no such thing as a gift too small.
Yeah.
I tell people, if donate a cup of coffee, $20 a month, $25 a month, whatever feels good. I never want the scholarship to be a burden on anyone.
Yeah.
And I also want people to know that $20, $25, that makes a difference.
It does.
That totally makes a difference. So I don't ever want people to think like, what will my $20 do? It will do a lot.
Yes.
It will do a lot. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they can make a one-time gift.
Yeah.
And I have people that say, I'm not really sure what this year is going to look like, but here's my $1,000 for the year. Here's $500, whatever they want to do. And if you just want to gift $25 as a one-time, all of it is welcomed. And also know that these donations, these gifts are being made directly to Estrella Community College. I never touch the money.
Yeah.
And they get the receipt directly from the school. Yeah. It's tax deductible. And they can make that donation knowing that every single one of those dollars, whether it's $10, $25, $1,000, it is all going towards serving women. There is no like overhead fees.
100% for them.
All of it goes towards the school. And so those are the 2 ways. The other way, the third way, is we're hosting a fundraiser November 1st.
Yes.
And you will be there.
Yes,
you are such an advocate for our cause. And so we host an annual fundraiser in November where we invite the community to purchase a ticket and be a part of the evening. This year, we're hosting Friendsgiving with Purpose, benefiting the Rising Rose Fund.
Love that.
Yes. And so they can attend the event, bring a girlfriend, and just have fun.
Yes.
The fundraiser is an opportunity to fundraise, have fun. It's a light event. It's a fun event. We'll have charcuterie. We'll have yummy drinks, speakers at this beautiful space, the Kiln. And it's such a vibe. The aesthetics are gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And so it's like such a fun experience. Yes. And so the whole goal is that while we're fundraising, we're having fun and connecting with other women. So those are the 3 ways that people can immediately support. And then the other way is follow us on social media.
Yeah.
Follow us on social media, because whether you are able to attend this event or a future event, you sharing our cause, if you want to volunteer, reach out. We really, it's nonprofit. I do this because it's, it's a part of who I am. It's what I'm called to do. You support because you believe in the cause and you want to serve the community. And so everyone who's a part of it is giving their time, giving resources, pouring into the cause. And we do need more people, to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, guys, that event, I've been going to that event year after year, and it is such an amazing time. The group of women that attend these events, I mean, the conversations, the collaborations that happen in that room, I mean, it's amazing. It's a whole experience for sure. So
yeah, and that's the idea is that you leave better than you showed up.
100%.
While we're doing it for a beautiful cause.
Yeah.
You get to connect with other women, and there's people that last year, a perfect example, a woman came because one of her girlfriends had invited her. Her girlfriend wasn't able to make it the last minute, so she knew no one. And her and I totally connected. We just hit it off, and now we're good friends. And so it's just so beautiful to see. And that's just my own personal story. There's other people that have connected, and it's such a safe space and a fun space and, cute space.
And you always make it super cute. You always put a lot of style into it. So it's a fun time. So awesome. Well, thank you, Rosio. Thank you for sharing your story. And I hope it's reaching the community, because I think that individually we're very powerful. But together, my gosh, the power we can have. And honestly, our Hispanic community, I think that we need to step it up a little bit. Not a little bit, a whole lot. So
I do want to share one last thought. And the reason I share this is because I do think it's important for us to recognize that even when we think we're not, that our contribution is not enough.
Yeah.
I have big goals for the nonprofit. I do want us to help hundreds of women. And just a couple of days ago, I was sharing with another group, and she asked me if this was only offered in Arizona. And I said, yes. And she said, maybe one day it will be nationwide. And so she already she planted that seed. And I was like, oh, I see, I understand. But Estrella Community College has awarded us the Hero of Education for 2025.
Wow.
So Maricopa County, the Maricopa County Community College Foundation offers these awards, one hero per school every 2 years.
Wow.
And this year they have awarded us with that award. And I share that because since the beginning, I've been thinking to myself, and I share, I want us to do more. I want us to have more impact. I want to fundraise more. And in 3 short years, they're saying, you're doing great. Your community, the Rising Rose Fund community, is serving these students here. And so that recognition is a reminder that our cause, very grassroots, no big corporate money, just regular people giving back, is making a difference. And so I invite you to support our little cause that is being very impactful in the community.
And it's being recognized. And that's such an incredible award, because you've only been doing it for about 3 years. And look at you. So very proud moment.
Look at us.
Look at us. So guys, thank you so much for watching till the end. I know that this was a very meaningful interview for me. Thank you so much for sharing and being so vulnerable. So guys, this was Mindset and Wealth. Remember to follow us on social media. We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify. So all the different social media outlets. Again, thank you for staying till the end. This was Mindset and Wealth, where we help one another build an empire. Thank you.